not. And when it goes the other way.
Libas.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday Week.
A little bit older than you.
And I'm not touching this topic. I'm not touching it.
Yeah. Mediocre, mid-table, rabble, aren't
So I
they?
just want to be able to talk as much
If we
crap.
play a night game, he has to turn the bloodlines on.
No one would have believed that he would keep his job for as long as he had. But
The Wednesday Week! I'm just chewing down the last bit of biscuit. I thought I'd try and smash in just as those credits started. Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday Week. My name's Dan Fudge, and we've got loads going on. Tonight, joining me, I've got Holly, Stevie, and John, and we're going to be talking about the new entrances to S6. We've also got an announcement about Stevie's man crush coming up later on. And then we've got, obviously, talk about England, and brace yourselves in our regular feed.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. So that's happening, talking about the Euros and what's been going off. I'm back from a mega hangover. I tell you what, lads, I'm going to come specific to the lads on this, my apologies. I've ever been away for like a week with the lads, and it's like solid boozing. I've been away. Like when you first start, you're like batteries for each other. You're like, yeah, come on, this is great, this is amazing. Ah! And then by the end of it, your hangover kicks in. You've had 4 hours kip per night. You can't wait to not see each other again for about another 6 months. And you're all just like chirps in at each other. The whole flat smells like sewage. You know what I mean? That's probably why Ash's not on tonight.
I was literally going to say that's why Ash's not on tonight, isn't it?
You know what?
Do you
I
think
don't
girls
blame
don't
him.
have boozy holidays?
I bet like girls are like different. They have some proper drama, don't they? They like proper scream and shout at each other, and then they're like mates a week later. Is that how it works?
I don't know. I just drink all the tequila.
Yeah, that's shocking information. Right then, so well, there's a lot been going on. So we've had I think you spoke last week, Stevie. Great job, by the way. We spoke last week about Max Lowe coming in through the door. Yes.
Yeah, we
Then,
did. We touched on that.
We had another signing, didn't we? Did we have somebody else that you spoke about?
Valerie.
Why don't you come on over? Yes, we do. And we had Valerie. And we've had 2 more confirmed since then in, and I'm going to get this right. We've got, obviously, Jamal Lowe coming in with his apple bottom jeans. And then Spanta Ingelsson has come in through the door as well. Ergo, Holly's wearing her Sweden shirt. Now, Holly, I know you're a bit of a fan of Swedish football. I was going to stitch you up. It's all right. It's all right. So, right then, let's talk about Jamal Lowe, shall we? Now, not had a bad career, if I'm honest, and he's one of those. I'll come to you, John. He's one of those footballers who's had like what you refer to as a proper career, where you start out low and work your way up. That wasn't a pun. Where you start out in the lower leagues and work your way up, starting out at teams such as Barnet, Hayes and Yedin, Boreham Wood, Hitchin, St Albans, Farnborough. 2014, I think I watched him play at Farnborough, and then St Albans, and then Hemel Hempstead, Hampton, Richmond, and then he got to move to Portsmouth, and then all of a sudden he was playing solid league football. This is an exciting one, isn't it, John?
Yeah, I like the sound of this one. He, like you say, has been around the block longer than I realised. He's like, I think he's about 30 now, isn't he? So he's been on the scene a while. Took the long route, as you say, bounced around a lot of clubs, but finally sort of started to show his promise, at championship level with and above once he'd done the Portsmouth move. But I think he's a good fit. He's what we're looking for, isn't it? Another player, attacking player with pace, probably quite versatile. Could probably rotate off the wings with Masaba and Gassama. Adds a bit more of a some more squad depth in that area. So I think it's a good signing. I know we've been chasing him a while, haven't we? Because we linked with this guy last season as well at some point, I think.
Yeah, there was a rumour last season, but it was a different manager, so I don't understand how that came about. So obviously these advisors that Chansiri talks about are still at the club. I don't know who they are. We still don't know who those people are and who these advisors, come in the formation of. Could be a couple of aliens. I don't know. What about you, Stevie? Where do you sit with it?
Yeah, I'm excited. I listened to his interview yesterday, and the noises that he was making and the things that he was saying, and he got the usual massive cliches in and so forth. But his sort of the whole premise of what he was talking about was the fact that, and this is the thing that I found most interesting about it, wasn't necessarily the fact that we'd signed him. It was the reason that he's come, and he was talking about the fact that he wants to work with Danny Rule. And immediately, if you watch the it's like a 5-minute clip. If you watch that clip, you immediately start to think, if we're getting people over the line and we're starting to bring people in, the draw is the manager, isn't it? And that's a really sort of interesting and exciting prospect. In terms of Lowe himself, he's proven it. He's proven that he can do it at this level. He's a guy that's got pedigree of getting out of the Championship into the Premier League, and I don't. Not necessarily saying that for a second that that's where we're going to be next year, but this is a guy who has proven that he scores goals. He's averaging 1 in 4. It's not outstanding returns, but you're going to get what you're going to get at this sort of level. I'm really sort of positive about it. I think it's something a little bit different to the Ugbo and the Cabot. We were talking about last week. Is going to be a little bit of a different sort of dynamic and profile to that. But now for me, I'm more than happy. Very exciting. Bodes well. We're attracting players now that have got recent history of playing in the Premier League, and if that's what we're building, more power to it. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it really is. And he's dead right, isn't he, Holly? In terms of strikers that we have, Bailey Cadamartri, needs a bit of work. He's a young kid, and I hope Lowe brings him on. But you look at Smith, and you look at Ike Ugbo last season. They were what you refer to as a telegraph pole marauding type of striker. Lowe's a bit different. Lowe's going to be a nippy chap who's and when I put that video together, when we announced the signing with the with the song over it and all the rest of it, there's some goals in there where he's absolutely lethal in front of goal. I mean, so do you reckon that there's now going to be a change in tactics in terms of the way Lowe plays and things like that, H?
Until the end of last season, we've never really had fast strikers or like fast attackers. All our strikers have been slow as really slow. I didn't want to swear so early because it's always me that breaks the seal, so I'm not doing it.
We're all following your lead, H, to be fair.
But we always have slow players, and clearly that's not what we're going to go for. And I know, like you just said, we chased him and we sort of know a bit about what he's about, which is sort of his potential Wilkes territory, because we knew what he were about and we chased him. But he scored 4 times against us, so if he doesn't do that, then that's 4 goals that we're not conceding. So I'll take that.
Fair enough. And you're dead right about the role factor in terms of him coming to the club. Danny has made a hell of a reputation for himself in the last 6 months, specifically being on telly, and a lot of people are talking about him online, which is great to see. And he only did a week. He only did about 3 games, didn't he? And everybody's waxing lyrical. What's the interweb saying, Stevie? By all means, read some out.
So we've had Ben on talking about Lowe. Obviously, they both play for the Jamaican national team, although obviously Lowe's not out there at the moment. Rumour has it, rumour mill, that he's a friend of Sean's as well.
I got quick. Rumour has it.
The rumour mill.
Nearly missed my cue there, didn't I?
He may or may not be. Yeah, you did. He may or may not be friends with Deshaun.
Let's assume he is.
Best pals.
Sharman's been on, low on price, huge on quality, I hope. And Mike Crawshaw, at this point last year, we'd signed Reece James and had no manager. This year is totally different. Looks like Beadle is all but done as well. Obviously, there's rumours that are going around that we look like we're going to secure James Beadle as well. So whether or not they will come to fruition in the next 24, 48 hours, we'll wait and see.
Well, that's it. Like, last week we were saying, oh, we signed a right back. I didn't know we needed a right back. And we were saying maybe that means we're going to sign quite a lot of people. And it turns out we are. So I'm going to have to learn all new players now, and I can't cope.
I think the one thing to potentially mention is that we're signing players that, you know, if you look at them on profile, they seem to be wingers, they're wide players. We're looking at those sort of, you know, areas. Although the Swedish fellow that we'll come to talk about was originally, it looked like he was going to be a midfielder, but you know, he's the John's just disappeared and come back. Shazam. It looks like he may end up being deployed on the wing based on where he was playing last season. I still think that there's a little bit of work to be done in the middle of the park. You look at Bannon, you're looking at Palmer had played in there. You don't know what's going to happen, seeing as we've signed players that potentially play right back, full back. Palmer's not going to be deployed as a wing back if we play three at the back. So, you know, you've got to think about the positions that the players that we've got, the personnel that we've got already are going to be doing or deployed in. I still think we're quite light in the middle of the park.
Yeah, we got linked with that another midfielder, haven't we? The Polish lad that we might come on and speak about as well. But
hang on, John. Hang on.
The rumour mill.
You've got
Go on,
you can't just keep spitting out rumours, bro. We've got to be very careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about it. So, right,
Yeah.
as Stevie alluded to there, right? So Svante Ingelsson has come in. We all saw that it was a midfielder because we all just jumped straight onto Wikipedia to have a look who the F he was. Now, Hansa Rostock aren't a shit team. I've watched a certain amount of German football in the last few years, and Hansa Rostock aren't rubbish. And he's been a mainstay, amassing 25 to 30 appearances for him in the last 3 seasons alone. So, you know, this guy's obviously got a bit of pedigree, and he's 26. So, you know, in terms of football players, that's like prime age. Yeah, you're about 10, 11 years past that now, aren't you? Yeah. So, you know, with you, and from what I heard last week on the show, your knees are made of Lego now, right?
Biscuit knees.
Biscuit knees.
I'm on the mend. I'm 1 week into the mend, so I'm all right.
Have they given you the good painkillers?
No, I'm just suffering through the normal painkillers and hobbling about and telling every single person that I meet that I've hurt my leg. Has the story got better every time? Have you kind of gone, well, no, you should have seen the size of this girl. She came in, she was massive, she was built like Atty knew you. Knee went one way, ankle went the other. Have you started to embellish that? I told everybody I was probably going to score a hat-trick in that game.
Yep. Yeah, cut down in your prime of life. Sorry, anyway. Sorry, John, let's talk about that. What was that last comment there, Stevie? Sorry, just pop that back up there. That was interesting. So we beat other clubs to sign him, John. What about them apples? Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, he's in his own words, he describes himself as a box-to-box midfielder, which is never a bad thing. You want that kind of player in any side, really. Energy, especially the energy levels that Danny Rule, you know, wants from his players. Big lad as well, about 6'3", I think. Obviously,
he's in our club, Stevie. He's in our club, Stevie.
Can I just, sorry to cut you off, John. Can I just point something? It's a quick anecdote, and I know we'll talk about ours in the park in a moment. But we were there on Saturday, and the way that they did it was brilliant. But from a distance, I thought he was Michael Smith. He is that big. He's an absolute unit.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah,
big fan.
Yeah, you need that, don't you, in a side, because obviously it comes into play for set pieces, defending, and stuff like that. So, but he's got quite good footwork for a big lad. Looking at some of the clips that I've seen as well. So I think he's going to be a smart addition again, and I think he's another one that will bring some versatility to the squad as well. Obviously, you're going to need that because we're not going to have the biggest of squads, but I think Danny wants that, you know, 2 for every position kind of mentality, and players that can, like your LP2s and you know, versatility and multi-positional play. And I think we'll get that from this Swedish lad. I like it. It's a good signing.
It is, isn't it? There's something excited about it, and that comment that Stevie just put up there, so and hear from Tim as well, that it's a really exciting start to the season. Thank you, Daniel Patrick, on the interwebs. Like it's an exciting start to the season, and there's genuinely a feel good factor around the club. It's like we've forgotten that we finished one place above relegation in the end, or like
Well,
two above
what
it.
I've
Like, you know what I
done-
mean?
We've signed that many people that I don't know anything about. What I've done is, as I have a Sweden shirt, he's now my favourite of the signings.
Has he made the Holly's future husband list?
Have you seen those cheekbones? He's going to
Have you seen?
something out in midfield with those amazing cheekbones. People have paid money for those.
Have you seen the cheekbones on this on Olaf Kabatsky that we've been linked with? I mean,
yeah.
come on now, look at
Cheekbones,
that.
let's see.
You could cut cheese with those cheekbones. What else are the internets saying, Stevie?
So we've got Robbo L114. Danny moved from his principles towards the end of last season to get us over the line. I think we will definitely see pressing from the front football this season, building from the back, which is a fair point. You know, we've now got a pre-season and a couple of pre-season camps that we're going to get Rule getting after the players and the squad, and it's going to be an opportunity for him to put his own sort of influence and identity on that squad from the start.
That
And
is
then we've
true.
got
We still have to accept that we're gonna come a cropper of it at some point, because we had a few games when he was still trying to play his style where we absolutely
Shit the bed.
100%. But you know, and the bottom line there is that he's inherited a squad and he's turned silk purses out of sour ears in many cases, hasn't he? Who would have thought that he'd have got a tune out of the players he got a tune out of, and the recruitment of those players. He's only actually signed 3 players last year, hasn't he? Beadle, Pervader, and Ugbo were the 3 players that under his watch. Everybody else, he's either worked wonders with, or he's managed to, you know, sort of get them playing within that sort of philosophy and identity that he had. Lewis Wilson is jumping on a rumour. Exciting that Beadle is coming back. The Polish winger too. Hopefully get a couple of midfielders in, strikers and centre back for me, maybe 2.
I'll tell you what, Lewis, are you paying? That sounds like an expensive round or what? Bloody hell! So let's get them all. However,
and then we've got
fruition. That would be exciting, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Then we've got former friend of the club, former friend of the pod, should I say, Blair. No championship club has done.
He is fully
he's
seeded.
fully seeded, and looks like the Milky Bar kid. No championship club has done more business than us so far, with 2 more about to be announced this week. Also, apparently, Pavida is nearly done. What is happening up the shagging Wednesday?
When Cristiano was in charge, when Cristiano were in charge, won it, and he got rid of everybody, and then we got a full new squad. And that first day of season, I was like, "Who are these? Who are they? Who is she?
Who is she?
Who is she?" I had no idea what was going on.
Somebody commented earlier on one of the socials that made me laugh, linked with that Polish geezer, and they put "Championship, you're having a laugh." I thought that was pretty. It's a first name Olaf, isn't it?
Announced promotion. HMS Pistol League is started. Brilliant. Right then. So, Stevie, I feel that you're going to be doing a lot of the talking at this point and the next point, because John, I don't know if you went down the road, if you went to Owls in the Park. Holly and I are expats from Yorkshire. So, Stevie, the return of Owls in the Park, I'm glad to see it come back. Gutted I didn't get the hosting job. I mean, it would have been lovely. Don't get me wrong. I did volunteer my services, but I probably priced myself out the market, or they went, "I don't know who you are. Get out of my house."
Oh, they did know who you were.
or that. It could have been that. Now, Stevie, tell us about Owls in the Park, because it's for kids, isn't it? It's for kids.
Do you know what? It was one of those things that it was almost I'll say this with a little bit of trepidation when I do. It was one of those things that you kind of felt obliged that you'd have to go and do, and there was nothing else that for me to do with the kids on a Saturday afternoon. So I took Molly and we went down. It ran from 11 till 4. And it was a thoroughly enjoyable afternoon. It was really nice. It was low stakes. It was low key in terms of what was there, but there was something for everybody. Lots of sort of mini football pitches that were set up and organised and run by the community programme. They had some armed forces presence. They had a couple of Star Wars characters that were there. They had food for days. You could fall over yourself trying to find the different food vendors that were there. And the major difference this year was that the players, the access to the players was absolutely second to none. They walked across from the South Stand and came onto the park and literally just wandered, and they mingled, and you could get out, and they were more than forthcoming with their time, and the way that they wanted to interact with people that were chasing on and jumping on them, and there was something for everybody there to be had. We got to meet the players. Molly, with a little Sharpie, managed to get out and get the names of the shirt signatures.
Tell the story. Tell the story about the new signings, because this made me laugh.
So I referenced the Ingleson, and that he was one of the first ones that we'd seen because he was so big. And I said to Molly, "Look, it's Michael Smith over there." And she went, "Oh, Michael Smith." And she's gone running towards him, and then he had his back to us, and then he's turned around, and it wasn't him, it was Ingleson. And she went, "Daddy, that's not Michael Smith." And I went, "No, it's not. That's a new signing." She went, "Right." And then she walked away, and I said, "Are you going to get his signature?" She went, "No." "Okay, why not?" She said, "Well, I've never seen him play, and I don't know if he's going to be any good, so he's not signing my shirt."
No, you should have made her. We've all ruined our stuff by getting.
She wouldn't have it. And it wasn't just that. It was the fact that her face, and I know I'm doing this on screen now, so if you listen to the audio, you won't see it. It was, instead of it going, he just went.
The old Clint Eastwood drinking a cup of tea face.
Or the the Instagram reel. What's that, brother? Brother.
I love. How long's Molly been watching Sheffield Wednesday now, Stevie?
We're a third season ticket next year. Third season.
So 3 seasons in, she's already a professional cynic when it comes to Sheffield Wednesday signings. I mean, that's impressive. It took me about 20 years.
I was going to say, I got a flag that said Proud Lock on it. That's how shit I am. I've committed to these people too. I've already got a Sweden shirt on. I've committed to. I
tell you what. I tell you what, boys and girls, in the comments there, because that's a good piece of question, Mark. A good question. That is he a player that you've subscribed to very early, and then he's turned out to be gash? Because we've had the 30-day challenge just finished, and Andy Sinton, Reggie Blinker. I might be harsh on Reggie there, but the nicest shirt that we've had in the last 15 years has been the one with the VW on the front of it, genuine beauty of a shirt. And I remember, your old man rinsed me out for hours, laughed at me because I had Julian Bennett's name on the back of it. So
he had DP80 on his shirt. So
so get those comments in. I want to know, what player have you? Question for the radio: what player did you early subscribe to? What was yours, John?
Well, John Astemabo. And reason, because we've got social media, and I even tweeted him and said, "Hey up, John," like I know him. "Hey, John, I think you'll get a game this weekend, pal." You never get a reply, do you? I got a reply that says, "I doubt it, mate. I've done my Achilles." I'm like, oh. that were it. I'm like, and he never turned out to be any good anyway.
I tell you what, Stevie planted his flag in the LP2 camp early doors, and he's been through some turmoil. Now, we've had a comment there from Ben saying, "How close did you get to Palmer? Did you manage to lick him on the neck, Stevie? Did Molly get to see
him?" No.
He shoved Molly out of the way, didn't
he? The restraining order has said that I'm not allowed to get anywhere near him until all being well, touch wood, 3rd of August will be the next time I can get within 50 feet of Liam Palmer.
Do you know what? Let me tell you.
Statute of limitations.
Once there were this, it must have been a kids' football team or something, 6 or 7 year olds, loads of them. Me and my dad came round this corner, and he came round the corner in front of me in his Wednesday shirt, Wednesday scarf, Wednesday hat, and they are one of the grown-ups that were with him were like, "Oh, all players come out of this way." And my dad walked around the corner and they all ran up and they were like, "Can we have your autograph? Can we have your autograph?" To my dad. I don't know if they thought he had the physique for a professional sports person, or the way he held himself, or the fact that he was wearing so much Wednesday merch. Like, I couldn't breathe laughing. I was actually bent double laughing. And he was like, "Oh, no, you don't want me." And he was desperately looking around to find somebody else. This is how long ago it was. Ashley Westwood walked out behind him and he went, "Here, you need him." And then felt bad about it forever that he got all these kids to get the stuff signed by Ashley Westwood, who were actually more shit than my dad.
Bear in mind, I saw your dad back in them days, and he was what you'd refer to as a big stag. You know what I mean? Who did you think he was?
Like one of them big egg on legs, wasn't he?
Egg on legs.
And I tell you what, just to wrap this up, I had one. David Hurst was signing autographs in, or I want to say all sports in. Back when he had the yellow and blue branding in Meadowall, and he was sat at this table signing away, and I got him to sign the middle of the Sanderson badge because I had the black one, and he went, "Sit down then," because I had it on, and I'm now leaning across this table like this, like I'm just leaning across the table, and he put his hand around the back of my shoulder to bring me in closer, and my head just fell on his knob. So I'm
I don't think that's what he wanted you to do.
No, he just literally threw me off his lap and like looked around to see if anybody got a picture of it. Like, and before the days of camera phones, so he was fortunate. Also, had gone viral. So let me. I want you to tell me in the comments and online, and if you're listening back to this, send us a tweet because I'm interested to hear what player you subscribe to early. What's that one from Tim there?
How
Stevie?
dare you, Tim? How dare you?
Tim Rowson. I remember showing Atinu, whose highlights at work, saying this guy's going to be unreal. Turned out to be a massive donkey.
Boo, Tim. Boo, Tim. I will take no subsequent feedback on Atinu, even though his form was quite sketchy.
Ben agrees. Ben agrees. That's not true,
that's
Tim.
Not true, Tim. We've also had Nat come on saying it's coming home. Sorry, wrong podcast. We'll get there in a bit in our new segment. I'll not play the jingle. It scares the bejesus out of me. And right then. So, Stevie, I'm going to come to you again. Because this is like you've been talking about this for an entire year, right? This is big Stevie news here, ladies and gents. Like, you know what I mean? It like announce trouser tightening for Stevie here because he deserved it. And I must admit, the little video where he's got all of the shirts in front of him in the changing room. It did. I kind of went, Christ, he's played for us for a long time, hasn't he? We've had the announcement, boys and girls, of Liam Palmer's testimonial coming up on the 3rd of August next month. This should be the pinnacle of your calendar. I think you can retire from Sheffield Wednesday after that, can't you, Steve?
It couldn't have happened to a nicer person and fully deserved. I don't want to wax lyrical all night about it, but what an absolutely fantastic gesture for an absolutely fantastic person, player, member of the Sheffield Wednesday family, and representative of our club. I know that I get hammered, and people take the piss and what have you because of my admiration for the guy, but I think it's been a long time coming, and I think he fully deserves every plaudit that he gets over the next sort of month or so, and it's brilliant. And I'm sure that on the day we will come out in our droves in force to make it the positive
whole
day that it is.
Clan stood there just screaming and shouting. They've all been dragged along, mums, dads, granddads, everybody. That's the one. Clap him. Sharman's comment there, Stevie. Sharman's comment there saying, "Is Stevie playing in the game?" But no, Sharman, because his shorts are too tight anyway. Imagine that when there's blood pushed into there. You know what I mean? It's a biological issue. What about you, John? What are your thoughts and feelings about Liam Palmer?
Yeah, I mean, he's you don't get many players sticking around that long these days, do you? And we haven't seen a testimonial, have we, in God knows how long. I'm sure Kevin Pressman's delighted about this news. I don't think he got one, did he? But, But yeah, Liam Palmer, he's, you know, from the days of starting out as a as a midfielder and having to be loaned out to Tranmere, he's battled back. He's always fought against the tide and he's worked his way back into the Wednesday sides over the years. So he's always given his all. He's had his critics, obviously. You know, that's what we do as fans. But I think it's great news for him, and you know, I think, you know, hopefully Bannon will reach that milestone as well if he's still got the quality and stuff moving forward. But yeah, it's nice to see him come back, Dan. You don't really see that kind of thing in modern football anymore. So yeah, fair play to him.
I think it's really weird. I think it's really weird because normally you would have a testimonial when they've sort of tailed off, but these last 3 years, I think Palmer's been better than he's been before. So you don't normally have it at that point, do you?
You know what? That's what I was going to say actually. Like he's had periods during this time with the club. He's had a tumultuous time. He's had a tumultuous relationship with the fans. He's got binned out on loan, and just like Cameron Dawson, if I'm honest, he's always managed to come back and shoehorn himself back into contention. And for me, I find that really impressive. Like Palmer specifically, just like you were saying, the last 3 seasons, that's the best I've seen him play for the club. He's absolutely been bloody brilliant. And, you know, he was always prone for a rick, wasn't he, in his early 20s? He was prone to, he'd try and take a touch and get dispossessed, or he'd balloon one. But he's scoring goals. His movement around the pitch is impressive. He's become quite the clubsman. Is that a phrase to use? And I think you're bang right, H, and all of you. I think it's absolutely well deserved. And I mean, I did say in the notes, let's talk about Liam Palmer highlights, but there's only one that sticks out about a year ago, and the rest of it is an absolute blur to me. Did everybody else have that same one, or Stevie, have you got like a list to unfurl?
I've got several, and they're all, you know, they're all sort of nondescript as well. You know, the big moments are the ones you'll obviously remember Peterborough, but for me there was the goal at Bolton. You know, on his 350th was just another one.
Someone's literally just commented that, as you said. Actually, Ben literally just read the goal against Bolton.
The goal at Bolton, even the goal at Sunderland. The goal at Sunderland, but the goal against Stoke, where he's just gone mental and run into the crowd. And I know we're talking about the recent past. For me, I wax lyrical about the guy. The reason that I get that he's not a 10 out of 10 player week in, week out. What he is steady away. He's a clubman, as you've just talked about. But it's equally about what he is off the pitch. And I just think, for me, he's living literally mine, yours, with due respect to Holly, mine, yours, John's, Asher's, Simon's. He's living the dream because he's a person who grew up as a Sheffield Wednesday fan. You know, you've seen the photo of him in Cardiff with his dad. And then has then gone on to get into the academy, has gone through the system. And anybody that knows anything about football will be able to tell you that, you know, it's getting into an academy is one thing, but then making it and staying with it and getting through to get to play is another story. For every Liam Palmer, there's 9,999 players that aren't going to make it. He's the one that made it. It just so happens that he is a fan of the club. And I've got a couple of bits. He went out of his way Christmas before last to send a message to Molly to wish her Merry Christmas. I've got a mate of mine who's had some health issues recently. Has literally texted me tonight a video of Liam Palmer wishing him well in his recuperation. He's just that kind of person. He'll do anything for the club. He'll do anything for the fan base. And, you know, he gets a lot of grief. And I know he gets a lot of grief, but it's legacy grief. You know, it's the stuff that Dan was talking about earlier on. When he was 23 years old, he decided he was going to try a Cruyff turn when he shouldn't have. Made a mistake. It cost us a goal. And now 10 years later, people are still banging on about it because he's not done this or he's not done that. The good absolutely outweighs the bad at the moment. And, you know, we can talk about coaches that have come back to him. You know, Carlos ended up coming back to him. Lukai gave him a chance. Every single coach since Monk, Pulis, they've all played him. And we're now talking about the best coach that we've had potential in the history of the club. Certainly the best coach manager that we've had since the Premier League era. Is making him a mainstay of the club. And if it's good enough for Danny Rule, who the bloody hell are we to argue?
I think also like it. If it means that much, like if he's actually genuinely a fan of the club, and it means that much, that first time or that second time that he got dropped and he had a long period out, it must have hurt so much. But for him to stay professional and just keep work, I mean, like we've said before, his fitness level, when people probably said, well, he's at this age now, so write him off fitness-wise, and he's gone, actually, I'm not even going to stay at this. I'm going to go above everyone else and be James Milner of the squad. Like, it must be quite hard. It must be quite hard to not throw the teddy out of the cot when it means that much to you, and to just stay and try and win your place back that many times. I mean, how many games has he played for us now? It's a lot, isn't it?
I can't recall which manager actually made the decision to move Liam to right back from centre mid. I don't know if it was Megson or after Megson, but I think that extended his time with us, because he's a better right back, isn't he, than what he turned out to be a midfielder. He's competent enough to go in midfield when you need him, but I think that move to right back also kind of kept him around. And then,
if I'm honest, John, I don't know if I'd agree with that. You know,
really?
Danny, I think that, I know what you're saying historically, but I think Danny Rule now is looking at him. I think there's a reason that Will Vaulks was offered what he was offered. I think there's a reason that Byers has gone. I'm not saying that he's going to play 40 games for us next season in the middle of the park, but, you know, when push comes,
but you'd love it if you did.
46. When push comes to shove, he can slot in there, no problem. You know, if we play three at the back, he can be a centre half. I don't think he's got the legs to play wing back. I don't, and I think he'll get found out. And I'm not sure how much we'll play a flat back for. And if we do play the flat back four, I think in 2024-25, the likelihood is he's going to play Paul Valentin there rather than Palmer, because Valentin's got the pace, and that's what Danny Rule wants. But Danny Rule will find a position for him to be an integral part of the squad, regardless of how much he plays next year.
Yeah,
he's going to be a key element.
That's the impressive thing about it. And I meant to say earlier on your big long diatribe about Liam Palmer. I'm going to put that on TikTok tomorrow with the fanfare of the common man behind it.
But I think also there were that period of time. I know you're saying that you don't like him as a wing back, Stevie, but that period of time where he had Jack Hunt, him and they were both on that side and they were chopping and changing. I absolutely bloody loved them both. I loved them.
Well, I tell you what, listen, there's been an absolute outpouring of love for Liam Palmer. We've had some great ones here. What's that say, Steve?
Sharman. I think Liam and Baz embody the spirit of the club. Keeping them in the club will be important with all the new signings. Get them believing in the badge and what it means. Couldn't agree more with that. I think that's absolutely spot on. John Wakefield. I got a lift. I got in a lift with the Palmers the morning after the playoff final. He still had his medal on, and they were so happy. We spoke then about the testimonial then, so I'm glad it's finally done. Anthony Beale.
John, hang on, John. I'm going to need some more information on that, John Wakefield. I'm going to need the full tale, please.
And it was the Palmers.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Like, no, what?
Anthony Beale, it drives me nuts when people say Palmer has improved with age because he's always been a good player. I honestly can't understand the criticism he's received and still gets at times. I'd agree with that as well. Craig Haywood seems to think it was Dave Jones that's moved him into a right back, and then Mike Crawshaw, Bruce moving him to left back improved him loads. He's never looked back since that season.
Jesus. Everybody's had a go. Sorry, H, you were going to say something.
I was going to say that comment said they disagreed with us saying he got better with age, but I don't think we were saying that it was poor before. We were just saying that this is
he's better now.
Better now.
Yeah, I tell you what, the fact that Dave Jones moved into, I'm like, God, that sounds like a million years ago now, doesn't it? What about this one though, Stevie? That says, "When's the face tattoo of Palmer coming, Steve?" So you've got that, and then Ben went with he deserved to play for Real Madrid or Barca, though. So jot that down. You know what I mean? So Liam Palmer getting himself his testimonial coming in. Great news. Proud of you, top boy. And we're talking about moments and things, and you were talking about the stuff he does off the ball. there's a point where you see, those behind the scenes videos that the club does, and there's one where they're talking to Liam Palmer, the press, and he just stops, looks over the camera, and goes, "Oh, what's that? Who's gone and got themselves a cheeky Costa? I fucking wanted one." And and I don't know why, but it really made me laugh. And every time I've had a Costa coffee now, I've called it a cheeky Costa, Cosley and Palmer. But now I buy fancy cups now. So moving on, the fixtures have come out. Any notable dates, H? Anything you want to get in the calendar? We did speak a couple of weeks ago about getting a London away day in the sun. So end of August, got fucking Millwall, wouldn't we?
And Luton's an early one.
Does that count?
It's all London to us. Anything outside of Yorkshire is London. So
It's all London, baby.
We've got Hull in Cup. That's London.
Okay. I tell you what, I was idly scrolling through TikTok before I went to sleep last night, and Hull contributes 0.2% to the 0.2% to GDPR to the entire country, and it made a big case about how if Hull got wiped off the map, nobody would give a shit. It wouldn't affect the country at all. So that's nice, isn't it? What about you, John? Anything stick out to you?
I mean, obviously, you look for the derby games, don't you? Even if you're, a bit time to come around, you're too nervous to contemplate them. But I think one that stuck out or didn't stick out is that we did no Boxing Day home game for about 9 years now, isn't it? So I don't know what's going on there. Can it be that random, or is there something more to it than that?
Are South Yorkshire Police involved in this? Because it's absolutely mental not to have a home game in 9 years, and to tell me it's random. What's that, Steve? Holly is the world's best geography teacher. It's all London, isn't it?
All London, yeah. Speaking of London, we've got Coventry on Valentine's Day.
That's really surprising. That was subtle as shit. That H, fair play. I was like, what do you mean? Speaking of London, what has she seen that I haven't here?
Coventry. I thought I'll look for when we play Coventry, because why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
They should just void. We've done our quota of Coventry matches now. Don't we?
We've also got an August bank holiday, Christmas, Boxing Day, New Year's Day.
Yeah,
Easter.
In it, sick of bloody Coventry, and then Plymouth away on a Sunday. Stevie, when are the derbies? Did I say
9th of November?
9th of November away and 15th of March at our place.
God,
yeah, I can't get away from, and I know it's just nostalgia, if that's what the word is. I really enjoyed QPR away last year. I want to go and do that again.
Yeah,
said it last week.
Absolutely, but it's cold. It's cold this time round, isn't it?
Yeah, I think one thing we'll all have to get used to as either as attending fans or perhaps wanting to watch it on Sky or whatever is the vastly changed kickoff times that we're going to have next season. So
yeah,
hopefully
lots there.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun for some people. Sunday 4:00. I mean, that would always Premier League fixtures that, weren't it? But
did you just put the Premiership in there, John? Did you just?
I nearly stuck a Simon Premiership in there. Yeah.
Go on, H.
They're claiming that they're going to tell us much in advance if they're going to change the kickoff times, but I don't think they are, and it doesn't affect me because I wouldn't watch it on the telly anyway because I'd be there, but it's just going to mess it all up for us, isn't it?
I have a real sort of thing about this, and I was talking to my mate the other night. The first game of the season's on a Sunday at 4:00, obviously. It just not dawned, it had not clicked on me the reason behind it. And I was like, why is that happening? And obviously he's explained the new TV deal, or reminded me of the new TV deal. And I was like, oh yeah, of course. And he kicked up a little bit of a fuss, and then we kind of not disagreed, but I'm very much of the mind that it's a necessary evil nowadays, isn't it? And it doesn't get my back up as much as it does other people from the bits that I see on social media and what have you. We are here and we are in it, and it's here to stay, and it's part of what we are. If we'd have got relegated, we wouldn't have been facing the alterations and such that we're going to be this year. So for me, we're here. It's money. It's going to be revenue that we're going to get into the club, and it's going to make the club more sustainable. Whilst it's not ideal, that's what the nature of football is in 2024, isn't it? And we're here. We just got to deal with it.
That's not true. It's not just the Championship. None of the South Yorkshire teams play at 3:00 that first weekend. They're all over the place. It's everybody.
But throughout the season.
Well, also, our derby game is on the same day as Rotherham against Barnsley, so one of them's going to, at least one of them's going to move in it. So
I don't think there's enough coppers in South Yorkshire for that, because you've got the same day you've got Rotherham against Barnsley, and then there's another day. I don't know if you guys saw this, but obviously it's obviously people I know from where I've lived. But you've got Southampton, Bournemouth, Portsmouth, and Brighton all playing in London on the same day if the fixtures stay how they are.
I think
Waterloo is going to be a mess.
They should just do it like the Purge and just let it play out. Just don't put any police in there. See what happens. Well, they might as well. But
yeah,
Dan's been prepping for this season for the last 3 years.
Yeah, innit? I'm ready, lads. I'm ready. I'll get them all in the boozer. I've got a job now. Right. So listen, controversial opinion here. Controversial opinion. I prefer the 5 o'clock kickoff, the 5:30 kickoff to a 3 o'clock kickoff.
That's because you're an armchair fan.
3 o'clock kicks in, right? Now let's think about it. Now, Stevie, right? You have a young child that used to or still plays football on a Saturday morning. How much of an effort is it to get all that sorted out and then get to the game for about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, get through all the traffic? It's a dance, right? And there's always a bit, and especially because I travel so bloody far to come and watch this bloody game. And I get up there, like my day's done by about like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, because all you're like, right, all right, see you later. And you're like, you know what I mean? What are we doing then? What's happening? And I'm up here and everybody's going on for, and I'll quote the phrase, for the teas. You know what I mean? Like what? Holly, back me up, right? Is it not better to go out and get straight on it?
I prefer the 3 p.m.ers.
But that's only because it gives her another 2 hours of drinking tequila. That's the only reason.
That's it. No, it's because you just need consistency. 7:45 and 3 o'clock. That's what you need.
That's the rules. That's it. You've not thought about it, have you? You've not thought about it.
Them dodgy kickoff times absolutely mess up my travel. Sundays mess up my travel. So
I tell you what, was it Ash last week or the week before saying I love being away on Boxing Day? And you're like, bro, there's no trains. What are you doing? Osmosis? Are you teleporting there? What?
Osmosis.
Just kind of and just turns up in the ground. How's he doing it? Bloody hell. Right then. So, hey, listen. Last 10 minutes. What we got here? We got a few comments there, Steve. We got one from Mike Crawshaw. What's he saying?
Living in China, the lunchtime games are better for me. Midweek night games are a nightmare. That's just Mike telling us that he lives in China.
Oh, look at Mike.
Look at me.
I just wanted to be tallest person in country. Look at me. I moved to China. I get it.
Sharman's on. I'm with Holly. Keep it simple.
Boo. You all need to up your mind up, because I tell you what, if you get into town, game finishes about 7 o'clock, 7:30, straight to the boozer. It'll do the hospitality industry, because they're underrepresented in Parliament.
It's those early kickoffs that used to do me. I remember, when we went to Bramall Lane, the 2-2, where we were 2-0 down and we pulled it back in League One. So you're in like Witherspoons having a breakfast and a pint. Like 10 o'clock I think it was 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going on holiday. I'm not in departure lounge, but I'm here drinking beer at 9 o'clock in the morning. It just didn't feel right. So I don't mind 3 or 5, but yeah, it's those early kickoffs to me.
There was that last game of the season. We played Portsmouth and we spanked them 4-1, and George Hurst scored first. And I nudged Ash and went, "Come on, let's go for a pint." I was absolutely spandangled by about 5 o'clock, and I'd arranged to meet everybody at like Kellam Island, and Vic was like, "Where are you?" And me and Ash fell asleep on his son's bed, cuddling each other.
Had you not been out the night before? So you were just.
I always turn up hungover. It's a damn good
you were a mess.
It's kind of what I do. I know. It's what I do. Right then, brace yourselves because this jingle's playing.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Now, last night, England played Slovakia in a round of 16 match in the European Championships in Germany in 2024. England were losing the game for a very long time and got themselves a 2-1 victory in extra time. Now, it's been done to death. It's been talked about a lot probably on the radio today, but I thought I'd give us guys the opportunity and you guys back home to get a comment in and talk about the football, about the players. Did they phone it in? Is this lackluster? Or is it all part of the master plan and we're all being too harsh and what we're all whinging for because we won, didn't we? Bloody hell. I'm just interested to know. John, what camp do you sit in terms of the way that Southgate's setting up, in terms of the way the players have performed? Is there an issue there?
Something's not right, is it? And when some of these players have come off absolutely stellar seasons, haven't you? You've got Bellingham lighting up La Liga. You've got Harry Kane scoring 40 and 42 in Bundesliga. Phil Foden's been amazing for Man City. He's had like a coming of age sort of season. And they put on an England shirt, and they just absolutely can't do it, can they? It just seems disjointed. You're screaming at TV because he's not. You don't bring any subs on until it's too late. It seems. I don't know. It's just watching England is like when they get all these stars. Like this new film's coming out. That Cutthroat Island. It was the most expensive film at its time. It was utter shit, weren't it? It was just like, what is going on? You've got all these top.
I stopped listening for half a second, and you were talking about Cutthroat Island. What is going on?
just man, yeah. I've enjoyed Euros apart from watching England. Every time you watch England, it's just pathetic. It's crap. It's boring. We'll get knocked out. Switzerland will beat us.
Yeah, there's going to be a robust performance from Switzerland. Stevie, any players stick out to you that have underperformed, or do you feel like they've got the reins on them, or are you going to be the voice of reason before Holly just says, shit, they're all shit?
You can tell that they're playing with, they have got the reins on. He needs to take just give them the freedom, go play. I think before the tournament started, there was this notion that we were the favourites. We're the favourites because we are English, and we're the English that are saying that England are the favourites. Spain would probably argue something similar. Portugal would say the same. And wherever you go, they're going to say that these teams, the bookies are saying we're the favourites because we are where the bookies are, sort of base sort of thing. I have said it before. I said it last week. For me, if we had with due respect to Gareth Southgate, if we had a world-class manager running this team, we'd piss it. I genuinely believe we'd piss it. I cannot believe, and the irony is, I think we will get done because we don't have enough at the back. Our best defender this tournament won't be playing on Saturday, and we don't have a left back, and we're playing a right winger at left back, even though he's left-footed. We're playing a right winger at left back last night. Makes absolutely zero sense to me. And in a squad of 26 people, if we can't get enough cover for somebody to go and play left back, then we have got a real problem.
That's been my issue. Like, what's the point in Luke Shaw being there? Really, we've got all this depth that we've got. I feel that dropping Rashford and Grealish, and I said it a couple of weeks ago, is a mistake. There was, Cole Palmer, I felt attempted a lot, and it was refreshing to come and see on. I tell you what, Abrici Eze, I want to see more of him because he when Wayne Rooney was an absolute savage around 2004, 2005, when he did his shit, when he played like a kid on the park and he'd just knack anybody. Eze's kind of got that a little bit. He don't care. He's playing concrete street football, FIFA street, old tight, keep it in there with one play. Do you remember that game? It was elite.
The one thing I would say, and I know he scored the goal last night. I think Bellingham is at risk of being a little bit maligned because we expect too much from him. Big time players turn up at big time moments, and he did it last night. I would argue that he probably should be, or could potentially solve the Foden problem by sticking him next to Rice, playing Foden in front as a triangle. So you've got Rice and Bellingham behind Foden. I think they've got the ability, the fitness, and the nous to be able to play that with whichever iteration and right and left of the three up top, and then let Kane in. I think you'll get more out of Foden doing that. I'd like to see a little bit more. I know you just mentioned Eze, and we've talked about Palmer. I'd like to see more Anthony Gordon. I think Gordon could be an absolute beast on the left-hand side. Let him go.
I tell you
and
what,
just
the best tweet, Stevie. Sorry to interject. The best tweet I've seen all week is poor Anthony Gordon could have gone on holiday, spent some time with his missus, and had a lovely summer off. Instead, he's gone to Germany and fell off his bike and smashed his chin up. Like, I don't know what it just made it sound like he was some kind of 4-year-old who's just gone, I'm hurt my chin, bless him.
I think.
Sorry, John. Just very quickly. There's a comment that's come up, and I know it's Tim Rowson has just said Bellingham doesn't want to play behind Foden though. For me, if you've got, and I'll go to it, if you've got Pep Guardiola or you've got Klopp or you've got Ancelotti, and they go to Bellingham, this is where you're going to play, and this is the reason why. I genuinely think, all right, I'm going to do that because it's going to win us the Euros.
That's the issue, though. Southgate isn't saying that to him.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't argue with Ancelotti, Klopp, and Pep Guardiola, would you? Go,
no.
And then go do your job that you.
The Ancelotti eyebrow go.
I tell you what, there is no way that man is not Italian mafia.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, quick. I can't. Hang on, John. I can't just say that the man is just Italian mafia.
The rumor mill.
I can't just spit things out like.
No, very quickly. I was just going to say, I think the big thing from all fans when they're watching England right now is that we don't see an identity of the team, do we? And one of the best examples of that, I don't know if any of you watched any of the Georgia games, but they've been
so much
fantastic.
fun,
really good.
They just say, right, we know we're not as good as you, but what we're going to do is when we get the ball, we are going to counter attack you like you've never seen. And they get the ball and they run forward like mad. He gets the ball to him. They're so direct, and it's like they've got an identity. They've got a plan. They know what they're doing. They know the strengths and the limitations, and they don't care who you are. This is how they're going to play, and it's worked fantastic for them. Obviously, they've run into Spain, and they weren't favourites, but. With England, you just don't see it, do you? You just don't see what are we trying to do here? How are we going to make this work? What's he going to do to change it up? And it just doesn't happen, does it? That's the most frustrating thing watching England.
The thing is, though, like obviously, there's only certain blokes that I let disappoint me on a weekly basis, and it's Wednesday.
And me and Dan in the group chat.
That's it, yeah. So I'm ready for the season, I think. But if England play disappointingly and win the tournament, you're not going to be moaning, are you? You only have to come good at the right moments. And they came good at the right moment. Do you know, when Windass scored in 123 minutes, do you think we all went, well, that was fucking shit, that? Or have we all celebrated it for a full fucking, since it happened? We have, because it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter as long as they come good at the right time. And if we win the tournament, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't think if we win the tournament, anybody's going to go in, well, I think he played shit. You know what I mean? TalkSport will, because they need to fill 80 hours of programming.
That's it. Like, we won that game, and I know it was disappointing, and I know everyone had to watch. They wasted their lives for that hour and a half, whatever. But we won. We're through to the next round. And to be fair, I think the Swiss have been good. Austria are on our side of the draw, and I think they're also very good. I'm sticking with that. I think it'll be a wild card winner because I think some of the other big nations have been a bit disappointing. But
hey, if Austria win it, I'd be like, fair play, lads. Fair play. Fair play. You've been great.
Yeah, if we're not going to win it,
France
then an underdog.
We've been shit. In it, exactly right, Stevie. There's been some corkers of comments come through. Darren Moore seems to be getting an outing because getting likened to the way South or Safegate plays, as someone's written there. So we've got what we got there. What we got, Stevie? Let's bash some up. Let's have a look.
You've killed me, mate. I was watching the football.
Brilliant.
Like Wendy Sundermore, slow, predictable, no movement, no ambition, a hard watch.
But like you say, we still got promoted.
Yeah.
White Take, Lou Shaw,
Something needs to eat
Southgate.
the chocolate.
Mad Ward, Southgate seems clueless playing Chisco ball. There's a correlation between the way that Southgate's setting up and previous iterations of the Sheffield Wednesday management that are coming through to pass tonight.
Yeah, but Darren Moore was asleep on the bus with a trophy, and if Southgate is, I'll be happy.
Yeah, of course. Anthony Beale, the main problem for me is that all of our play is focused through the channels and the centre, and our width is non-existent. That makes us easy to defend against. That is too technical for 9 o'clock on Monday night.
The gist is we need the width.
Little bit of love for Georgia. Georgia have no fear. Literally 11 JJs on the field.
Brilliant.
Georgia were mint, properly had a go.
So good.
Amazing. And my favourite bit about that, after outing Carlo Ancelotti's being part of the mafia, Sharman went with Fudgy's getting whacked. He'll be swimming in the Don after outing the Don. Forget about it. Right, listen. So Ash will absolutely hand my ass to me if I don't tell you lot about the raffle. We've still got that running till when, Stevie?
Next Monday.
Next Monday, so you've got plenty of opportunities if you look on our socials to get the raffle. We're giving away the new shirt. We haven't announced the away one yet, so I assume it's the home shirt, unless you want to wait. It's your choice. It is as it is. Does anybody have any other business?
Oh, I'm off to Alfreton. Is anyone off to Alfreton? That's all I've written down on my notes. Alfreton.
I don't know why I found that funny. I felt like you were going to sing it like, "Are you going to Scarborough Fair?"
Well, I'm off with the WSG.
You weren't there for the 14-0 or whatever it were a few years back.
God, yeah, we had that, didn't we? Are you going to Alfreton? You and the ladies going to Alfreton, are you, H?
We certainly are.
I think you might regret saying that live on the internet now. So we'll see what turns up when we play Alfreton. Stevie, anything to add?
Yeah, just the last one. I know we talked about Palmer at length tonight. In the last hour or two before we came on air, they dropped a 40-minute YouTube documentary on the Wednesday channel. I didn't have time to watch it because I've been out at Molly's been football training tonight. But tune in next week for my review of Liam Palmer's testimonial 2024, a lifetime, whatever it's called. I'll be there. I might play it back. Next week's podcast might be just me doing a live watch along.
Do you know what? I nearly went really vulgar and nearly said it's going to be you recreating a scene from the popular show The Boys with Homelander on the corner of a building. But I didn't say it, so that's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot for... But I said it anyway. It's Dan Fudgy. Big Fat says it anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot for joining us. Are you going to Alfreton?
Every week, live from 8 p.m. It's the Wednesday week. Bringing you football analysis.
He came in. I think he scored a goal.
Bringing you banter.
Yeah.
Bringing you responsible life hacks.
Met you wonderful souls at 10 a.m. for some shots.
The Wednesday week. 1, 2, 3, 4 live.
I normally just turn up and phone it in.
I'm a little bit older than you.
Like,
That zero's gone. That goose egg's gone.
Also featuring player interviews.
It's Mr. Lee Bullen, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. John Harps, ladies and gentlemen. It's Captain Fantastic once again. It's Mr. Glenn Lubens.
Oh, it's Mr. David Stockdale joining us this evening.
It's Mr. Lloyd Owusu, ladies and gentlemen. He's joining us live on the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Carlton Palmer. How's it going, CP? You all right?
Available on all social medias.
Obviously, this goes out on YouTube and as well as all the other social media out there, podcasts, etc.
The Wednesday Week 24-25 season. Join us next season.
Put on your podcast.